what's his name, Prudence, some or other. Gordon Brown, what has he achieved? What did Tony Blair achieve? Major and Thatcher and all of these representatives of capital, what have they achieved in the years that they have had? They've managed to achieve even economic stagflation. They've managed to achieve a rundown in the economy alongside rising prices. And the people that pay that price is you and I. The working class of Britain are the ones who suffer under this government. But the fact that Arthur Scargill is here today and about to address this audience shows we've not given up the struggle. We've not given up the fight. Socialism is very much on the agenda and it's here today in the very form of Arthur Scargill.
Chris, let me say on behalf not only of the Socialist Labour Party, but also on behalf of all those people involved in struggle, whether it be for peace, whether it be against the evils perpetrated by the Tory government or the new Labour government, it's a privilege and it's a pleasure to be here today and to be able to speak. For far too long, there have been forces at work effectively trying to gag someone from speaking out who knows exactly what took place during those historic years, both leading up to 1984, during the period and thereafter. I'd like to commence by thanking Richard Booth for granting us the facilities in this marvellous area, including the castle, and without him this could not have taken place. I don't know about my marble statue, but I do know that I think I've still got my marbles. You see, today we meet in the very month which is the 12th anniversary of the founding of the Socialist Labour Party. But the Socialist Labour Party was originally formed in 1903 by the legendary James Connolly, the Irish leader, who fought not only for an independent Ireland, but for an independent socialist Ireland. It's also the 82nd anniversary of the 1926 general strike, the 24th anniversary of the miners' strike that Chris has referred to in 1984 and 1985. And of course, in case you forgot, it's the 92nd anniversary of the Easter Uprising in Ireland in 1916. We meet at a time when I think most commentators would admit, even those who are around the back of the tent, that Britain and indeed the world is facing an economic crisis not seen since the Wall Street crash of 1929 or the unemployment and the economic crash in Britain in the 1930s. Just look at the picture. In Britain today, after 11 years of a new Labour government with a betrayer like Blair, we've got 10 million people who live on or below the poverty line. We've got, according to the statistics, over 1 million children here in Britain who are getting not sufficient food to be categorised as living on or above the poverty level. They are actually categorised as going hungry. That's in a society which is supposed to have come forward in the 21st century. Over 1.5 million people are on the housing list, waiting desperately for a home. What a nonsense In 2008, 1.5 million people desperate for a home and 3/4 million unemployed building workers. Why can't we put the building workers to work and build houses and home the homeless? Sensible, common sense ought to have been done years ago. If you've not noticed, energy and food prices have been rocketing. No surprise to us. No surprise to our party. I'm not going to say I told you so. I don't need to. It's in every paper. It's even in the Sky newspapers. They've even recognised it. It's come to their attention that oil's running out. That gas is virtually exhausted. In fact, the only hot air we're getting is from the politicians. And even that's lukewarm. Everybody's talking about the landslide in Crewe that took place on Thursday. How many people have thought about it? The successful candidate did not achieve a 50% majority. In this country today, we are told that trade unionists can only attain office if they stand for an election which has been prepared by the government under their rules, under their control, and that the winning candidate must achieve over 50% of the vote. And yet around 60% of the members of Parliament who dictate our policies have been elected on a minority vote. We've got a government in office with 32% of the electorate in Britain supporting them. They've got no right whatsoever to tell us what we should and what we should not do. And I say this to people like Blair. I consider it the height of hypocrisy for someone like you or Kinnock, who said it made him a big mistake in not condemning the miners to have a ballot. Don't talk to me about ballots when you can take this nation into an unlawful war in Iraq without a ballot. Is it any wonder that people are disillusioned with politics and politicians? They say, quite understandably, they're all the same. Of course they are, in the three major political parties. Look at the policies that they put forward. They're all eager to gain the middle ground. Well, all those people over the years who've concentrated on the centre ought to remember the old adage: if you stand in the centre of the road, you get bloody well knocked down. I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see the labour and trade union movement win support from its core, from the working class people of this nation, in order that we can achieve not merely an electoral victory, but in order that we can achieve real political power. There's a substantial difference between the two. I don't want a party elected to government that merely continues the status quo. I want to see a government that changes the existing system, that brings about